Yes, we're back again with syllabus. Still going through programming lessons. We ended at creating database, build this database. Yes, we're back again with syllabus. Still going through programming lessons. We ended at creating database, build this database. Yes, we're back again with syllabus. This one, still going through we used SQL to import. We imported all our tables, creating database, build this database. Yes, we're back again with syllabus. This one, still going through. So now, next, we use SQL to look at the table. We imported all our tables, creating database, build this database. There's something funny there. I want to start first and do this one. So now, next, we use this to look at the table. We imported all our. Okay, it's okay. We can now continue. We look for there's a table called the users. We expand it. We have a user called Moses, so we have the user, the email address is this, username is this, group is 2. If you look at our tables under group, user group 2 is a supervisor, group 1 is a system admin. So let's choose an account where there is system admin. Go to table users. Let's see this. Myoza, okay, bagiteeka. Alina CDs webagikola ne batakola ki? Ne batagiprintinga kugisa kuli era kikomawo. Iyo tebagikola. Awo tukola. Bagikola naye kati obuzibu teyali printed kuteekebwa kuli. Clothes tebagiprintinga kugisa kuli. Kati bakozesa CN kali akawandiiko obuwandiisi.
Ate nako information teyaliko bateeka obutesi walekerawo tebagimalayo.
Kati singa baprintinga ne bagisa kuli.
Kwani ndio utakola. Yale, wewe pia kwa mimi.
Usual suspect. Okay, sorry for that. So we are going to pick this username. The username under group 1 is a system administrator. So we pick the username Ruth. Then we come to PHP my admin. Go to localhost, or you go to server. Sorry, my machine is taking long. Okay, as this one is loading, let us be doing something. So we are going to go to www folder. Here we come and paste our files. This file is supposed to be pasted in C. We paste it in C. We go to C. Then we go to WAMP. C, then WAMP, then in www folder. If you go there physically, you can go here, you see. Then you go to C. Then you go to WAMP. Then you go to www folder. Pick your project and paste it there. So you want to fetch these files from the password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6. System is drying because we are online. But we always, when you're designing a system, make sure that your system runs very fast. This is designed for ROM burst. Oyejaziza mutajimpa najimpa ye amaziga tegamu buteesi ebadde ki ogenda ogijjukira ngamba okugikatwa kinamba kubanga ko kati ngenda kuddamu ngenda ziyingiza wana tezintawa ejakuda tugijjeko muganda waayo kyekka mwezifaanana What was 045? 045. Sorry. 367. 336. 461. Wagamba satu. Zibadde kati eno ate gy'oba oteekako. Kati eyo eri 2537 yen. Yeyeze kuba eno eri efaanana n'eno. Okay, we are back. Sorry for that. So I was showing you the contents of these login pages. Login page has got login and login 2. We are investigating login 2. Yep. Where we said when you start a session, this is a function to start a session. So we are saying session start. We put this we terminate it. So this one starts a session. When someone initiates a login, that is what we call a session start. We are telling the compiler to include a page which is found in processes, and it is called the MySQL.class, and also include another page found in processes folder, which is called the PHP functions.php. So this is the folder called login, and under this project we have a folder called the process, and we are telling it to go to this folder called the process and pick out a file called mysql.class.php, which is this one. Also pick another page, which is the php functions.php, which is this one. I will explain all these pages what they do, but this one, mysql.class, allows us to connect to the database. You can see it has the database location, which is localhost. This means that it's located on our machine. It has a username to the database, which is called the admin. It has a password, which is this one. It also has the database name, which is the factory. This is the host, this is the user, this is the password, and then this is the database name. We are leaving the character set to be open. The default character is to be optional, so that we can leave it to the default one. And then we also say that the P connection or persistent connection to be false. We don't want it to continue connecting, so that it creates a loop. We want it to, if the connection fails, let it terminate. So this page basically allows us to have a connection, the login page, to connect to the database successfully. Then in PHP functions, this one will contain functions that initiate the sessions. So we have so many sessions that are supposed to work with us. We have database function, which creates a new database. These ones will learn when we go ahead, because a function is supposed to have also a sub-function, a sub-function, such that when something you're going to use globally, you define it somewhere so that it becomes a global value, Every time you want to use it, you just recall it. That's why we have a page called the functions. Functions are used everywhere. You will not, if you need your work to be neat, if you need your work to be fast, you define functions somewhere and then you call them by their function names, what we call as the function call. Okay, so we were waiting for this page and finally it has opened. I'm sorry this page loads slowly because I'm connected to the internet and it's supposed to be an offline system, but when installed on the server, obviously the speed will be a bit higher than this to be instant, since it is a production system. We are designing this system for a company called Lomplast, and we are using this kind of graphical interface to help us achieve the objectives of this project. It has got a profile where we are supposed to profile sales agent, customer and vendor, material, warehouse and production. It also has services where we have finished goods services, material, production and consumable. We have a sales and payment, which has a lot of sales information, bulk payment, approvals and payment for account. It has user management where we can add user, remove user, view users, add the user groups, the preferences where you can set those countries and so forth, and find a report, and you can log out from here or you can log out from this way. It tells us that this person we logged in is called Ruth Nanyas, the system as admin. And when we go back to our database, you see that this person was Ruth. He's called Ruth Nanyas, and his user right is user 1. The user group is 1, and that was when we went back to our tables, the table of groups. You saw that user 1, user groups. User 1 was a systems admin. That's why you're supposed to see, you're seeing Ruth, a systems admin, because he's logged in as user 1. This one has a full authority of this, but other users will only have what they're supposed to see. Okay, yeah. It is geographical enabled, and it is it records the vendor, customer and agents. Okay, you can even reprofile yourself, time and everything. Okay, so like I was telling you, let's go back to pages. We shall move page by page. One, let's log out, then I come back to this page. We call this one the index page, index.php. That page is located in our C. If we go back, we have this page here called the index.php. When you open it, it has the session start as usual. Sorry, I'm in a public place, but you'll bear with me. So this page has got what we call the PHP taggings. When you open a PHP tag, you have to close it. So this one opens from here and it closes from here, and it is found in the header section, not in the header section, in the topmost section of the page. Understand? Before you open the HTML, the header section is here, where we have the link tags. But we also have, above all, we have the PHP function. So we are telling this that it started when someone initiates a function, initiates a session. When you start a session, what is required is database, and this is also a page. We are telling that when someone starts a session, you go to our folder, a folder called db, and you pick a file called db connect.php. This folder is also here. You go to db which is this one, and then pick this one, dbconnect.php. This one is going to allow us to connect to the database. This database we created here, because you cannot do anything. It's a database enabled, so you cannot do anything without connecting to the database. Okay, so this page connects to the database so that it can read out this table. When someone logs in here, when you put in your username and password, definitely you started the session here, as we've seen. Start the session, so it will check the database. It will go to PHP my class and PHP function, and if database is true, we are saying database request new MySQL request. If it is true and the session is set, display the catalog. Database zange tuze online. Sorry, we are coming back.
Oh, you told that lady, Issa.
Which lady?
You go to Joseph's office.
Which lady? Which lady is that?
African woman.
It's called.
Do I know those names? Those are names of already papers. Actually, here's your number. She's calling your number.
This one is there.
She's calling and pick. But you just go to Joseph's office. But why do you call and then say do what? You don't know who was called. Again, I said do what? You call it someone, I was like, oh, okay, I was like, we good. Yeah. Being a Mosok is a problem. You understand the after the problem. Oh, okay. Now.
Your first the problem first happens, then you understand.
See what? But what this thing that are calling is the phones and the glass, you know, that's the glass.
Now there is that cowl. She likes driving, and this is not the first time she's going to see.
That's how
She likes parking cars. She parks.
a lady.
This is a car. I think it's a business.
Yeah. Now she's going to basic today. She will learn a lesson.
Doesn't she run
Now
away?
you have seen her.
Katiza kugamba ki? Eri tunagenda mu nsawo. Tunagenda mu nsawo. Ddala 11. Anti kati tekitegeeza nti byonna n'ebyajjo byozze. Ate kitegeeza nti yonna n'ebyajjo byazika. Ekyo ojja kwesanga kino kyali kya ssaawa. Kino kya ssaawa 10. Ekizo kusaanya kya ssaawa 5. Kino kino kya 10. Kya 8 kyo. Kino kya 8 ng'ennyonyi esimbudde. Ekyo kizze leero naye kapasa wali afudde. Kitettaano ekyo. Kya ssaawa 4.
Kamera kamazeewo kasaagizawo eganyi ebadde ewuze
ebadde egira
ewuze premier tegiriiriwo se waliwo kituuzo gigenda eno okwegenderayo ono bazimuwe ani abikuleetera
ono omuwala asimwe.
kibadde tukuze kuba editing kyako
Abavuddemu sebadde gundi
era omanyi
ebadde kalenti ebadde ki ebadde kalenti received. Ebadde total just Very total fast.
Total what? Turn of my data is what we received, yeah. Total received for export. Total received. Yeah, total received, which better, yeah. Then now it's exported. Then balance, yeah.
Now, try to the return.
Exports, that's it.
Spring accounts.
And you can say also the return to sender. Minimizing a space for art and to ship.
Then
which studies, yeah.
Never did this 3. And then one item.
But when you tell you it's
and it is 11 anyway.
It's to zero.
Okay, we are going to 11. What do you mean all? All.
Yeah. All. Ate oruki 11 yogamba 11 exports 11 exports cancelled
11 items for export,
yeah. Then now 3 items for export. Cancelled and then shipper and 1 item on the delivery. Then we see.
And it is available. They saw it for February.
Why don't we return the see it? Why don't we return?
About to the bag waiting at window China opening, then we deliver. To end up opening it, then we deliver. So what, because it is there, they saw it.
They saw it. Ali akirabye. Uyu wagezigezi. Kati awo ayite mu zikale ebifuba. Twageze 46 tukolekitinga 5 totweriye eno kitwalako bino byageze mu efu
byagenze naye kati bibyo byalimu byennyanja mwalimu biki
epo watutebya epo ddala some for epo
fish waliyo fish waliyo medicine
epo
really worthwhile kubanga when you go to the report
tukamuwe bw'abalina questions answering can't take question can't take care of what tukasindika not as a bill but
attachment
yeah katereze tukateeke mu wanda ze report
kati
mumanyi kasoma yagala n'ebikarakara tinoonya kala birungi biteeke mu
ngene what abaga nkwegodize ogire
kati
wanyisewo ekiganye Okay, so in the header section, this header section, you have this logo, you have the input box for the username, the input box for the password, the button for sign in, and another link to help a user when he has forgotten the password. All of these are necessary for a login page. A good login page should have a recovery plan, which is this one, forgot your password. That is a recovery plan, and should also be able to hash the password so that it is not visible. Okay, so when we go back to our notepad, you see that we are having we are having all this applied here. We are saying that we have this logo with the background style of this color. You can choose a color of your own. Then we also call the navigation class the navbar, which is supposed to be on top, and this navbar will show you what it does. And the link is this. It opens once. It is under pages, that is the folder. Requirements is the folder, and then the item itself is called the .php, and this one will only come where if you saw this. If you saw, I will show you when you open up. But when you log in, you find that it will list a topmost bar with the username, and then the sidebar with the menus. So the topmost bar with the username is what we are calling here the top.php. Now we are saying that when someone clicks that login page, if the session is set, any type of session, kindly do check all of this. So we are going to check all these places. We are using a case. If you did the loops, we use case, we use the switch, we use the if and else. If else. So we are using if else. We are combining if else with the switch. The switch is going to be checking in the menus to see if the user is allowed to view that very page. So a switch is going to liaise with the login page to load only the pages which the user is supposed to see. So we are saying that we are loading the default page, which is the dashboard, and our dashboard is also under pages. Under pages, you go to pages. Here you'll find a page called dashboard. Dashboard, which is we are using this one. So on the dashboard, here we are going to have our content against the menus. That is this page. So when someone enters data here on the login page, and if someone enters this data, the page is going to check the user rights and the user group. As we see here, it is going to check the user rights. This is the graphicon. These are the icons you're seeing. Here, there's this graphicon, and then there's this one. There are these ones, which will say graphicon. info sign in, and if the sign in is not okay, if the sign in, the username and password is not okay, we shall echo a login error, and then unset the session of login. If it is successful, we will throw a success message. Okay, your password is required. This one's when you fail, it will tell you, those message which appears, the placeholder which will tell you whether the password you entered is okay or not. Also set here your password is required and so forth. Action is required. You run this when we go on as we are working against our system. Okay, this page takes long. Okay, let me be explaining this step by step. So, when we say that if a database is, when we query a database here, and the database is okay, and a new database is connected, if there is a new connection, so you will say true, the value is true. If there is a new connection, we want a new session to be created that is showing the number of items. Also, we want another session under this to also to be called in array. We are grouping them in array because the number of values we are calling is a bit high, and arrays help us to group similar data into one category. But these ones, don't mind about them. We shall not use them because we don't have the catalog created at the moment. So we may leave this. But the most important is if a session user ID is okay, if a session user ID is okay, then we say we echo a user is equal to session username. So the system is going to check the user ID in the database. For example, the user ID in our database is for Ruth. We should go back to users. The user ID is 1033. It is going to check if this user ID exists in the database. So if 1033 exists in the database, then it will call, we will declare a new function, or we will declare a new variable. And this is how we declare variables. We declare the value called user Z, which is equal to the session, and it is going to throw or to output a username for this. We said this is if the condition is true, then we display the output. If the condition is not true, then this output will not be displayed. Okay? So here, the variable for the output is this. If the condition is true, so it is saying we are displaying the name, the username, which is Nanya's Ruth. When you check in the database, the username is the same as the user full name, which is Nanya's Ruth. So it is displayed as Nanya's Ruth because we checked and the user ID was okay, so it had to display the name. Good. So I was telling you about this, the requirement. This one loads once, and you say tokenaf, which is found in the. This is also a PHP. We opened the PHP and we closed the PHP. So we say include once. Include once is a function, is an inbuilt function which allows you to execute pages once. For example, this include once we are displaying this nav bar, top bar once, so that every time we are changing these links, the top navigation bar does not change. It remains intact. Does not change. It remains there. Okay. So we are. That is what it does. Okay. And then here, this user, we said if insert do, we defined do as get do. Do is equal to the dashboard, and dashboard is equal to we are displaying the active page, and also we are switching into different pages. If this user is allowed to view all of these pages, they will all be displayed here. If he is not allowed to display these pages, then only the pages allowed for this user will be displayed here. You get me? Yeah, that is the use of this do. The system will check the user rights. The system will check the user rights and then load the appropriate pages that the user is supposed to view. Okay? Okay, we continue. So, I think today we've done a lot. Tomorrow we shall start with one of these pages. How are they linked? How are they created?